Welcome back. I'm Katie, and I've gotten myself into a planner pickle, and I have nobody to blame but myself. Let's talk about it, because clearly I have some processing to do, and maybe I'm not alone, or maybe you just like to watch people extremely minorly suffer. I want to say from the outset that all of the stakes here are incredibly low, and I know that, and I feel it. Like I'm laughing at myself. Like I really am. So I'm gonna be a little melodramatic here, but it's because I like fully know that I am being absurd. All right, let's go. So I've been very vocal, and it's been well documented why I picked this planner. This was my everyday carry for 2025. Let's do a quick check. It is currently September 17th. We are not even that close to 2025. At the end of 2023, I committed that in 2024 I was not going to pre-order anything because I knew that I find the time between when I pre-order a planner and when I get to start actually using the planner to be too long, and to be a time in which the brain starts going in non-excellent ways. But there wasn't a pre-order this year, so I didn't pre-order this year, and yet the result is the same. Anyway, this is what I ordered. This is the B6 Slim Sterling ink. I went through an enormous self-discovery and testing planners and stuff thing to get here. You've seen the videos. Maybe you haven't. I'll link them. And it arrived and I loved it. That video is up. And I still love it. It's a beautiful planner. Why did I order this? And why am I now filled with doubt? Why? So, this is the Kinbor A6 Daily Tacho, something like that. I don't know what it's officially called. Let's see, 2025. Cat's Cafe, the inherited craftsmanship. I don't entirely know what that is meant to mean. This is the Cat Cafe cover. It's like a brown faux leather. It feels quite nice. It's like I don't know. My fingers like it. It's very smooth. But it's got like baguettes and pastry and stuff on it, which like is my jam. I am extremely pro baked good. So that's why I ordered it. The other reason I ordered it is because it was $1.80 shipped. It was on sale. And I knew as I pressed go that I was signing myself up for heartache, essentially. And here I am. So the A6 is much squarer than B6 Slim, but they really feel like they're playing in the same kind of size universe. Here's Passport, which is what I used this year. For reference, this is a sticker from Nib and Fleur, by the way, and it's beautiful, and I do intend to take it off this planner and do something with it. Yeah. It was $1.80. That's why I pressed go. If it had like even a little bit of a higher threshold, I probably wouldn't have, even though all my friends were doing it in Simona's Discord. But it was cheap. It was on sale, and I was curious. I like generally how the planner feels a lot, except for these bookmarks, which are incredibly cheap feeling, but I'm not gonna let that bother me. I can rip them out or whatever. I'm not gonna do like a super detailed flip through, but just so we can see what we're talking about. It's got some things, you know, some of this, business, months, and then once you get through the months, it has no weeklies. It's got like a monthly overview page, and then it's got a page a day. It's like one of the A6 Hobonichi. Honestly, I don't follow Hobonichi well enough to know if it's the original that's like this. The day free is, it's got days, so it's not day free. I don't know. But it doesn't have the quote, and I'm not such a fan of the quote. It does have a little calendar here. It does have a little more. I like all the information that's at the top. The January 1st. I'm sorry, January is the month, then 3, that's the day of the week, and then it has both the week number and the day of the year. I actually really like the day of the year. I look that kind of thing up pretty regularly. And it's just like that all the way to the end. There's a few, but not very many, like 16 or something, grid pages. And then, you know, the kind of random stuff that some of this kind of planners have. And then this is 52 GSM paper. It's not called Tomoe River paper. It's got a different name. I've seen speculation that it is Tomoe River paper, but at the very least, it is extremely Tomoe River adjacent. It's super smooth. It's super thin. It's super fountain pen friendly. If you're looking at other Kinbor products, they're not all 52 GSM. The 52 GSM ones are this paper. There's also an 80 GSM notebook, and that's a very different paper, and I think it's less fountain pen friendly. I don't know that I'm going to be able to intuit anything else by just feeling. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to say anything knowledgeable else past that, and I don't want to say anything I'm not knowledgeable about, but I tested it with my fountain pen, and there is no feathering, there is no bleed through, there's not even very much shadowing. I realize there's print on the other side, but I was really impressed. Which then led me to immediately be like, well, now what? I do really also like how it feels in the hand, both the A6 and the thickness. I have some other A6 products, not much. I have this notebook, which was a very kind gift from my friend Karina, and I love it. It's beautiful, but there's something about the thickness and the feel. There's something, like, I love how this feels in my hand more than this one. So, like, I've always liked this. I think the cover is beautiful. I very much intend to use it and enjoy it, but it's never engendered that, like, oh, this feels so good feeling. And this one, I really, it's kind of floppy. It's got a nice feel, and it's got a nice thickness, and it's like, I don't know, it's triggering my brain in all the right ways. I don't have a use for this, and I have, for myself, always been very anti buy something and figure out what you're going to use it for later, and in particular anti find a use for something just because you like it. Like, I am already at my limit on journals. You know, I have my daily journal and I love it, although I don't journal in it every day. And, like, that keeps me plenty occupied. Like, I don't think that I really have the bandwidth to add another thing. But I want to. I like this. I know there's nothing special about the layout, but there's something about it that's really hitting me just right. I think part of it is that I think that the hourly is so cute with the little rising sun, and then the sun, and then the setting sun, I think is really adorable. And there's something about the A6 page that, like, it's, I don't know, it's feeling really good right now. But my journal right now is in B6, and I am regularly doing 2 pages a day. and then skipping lots of days. I haven't personally, today's the 17th. It's been 8 days. I got some catch up to do, but like, I will do 2 pages a day, and then I will miss lots of days. And so I like having it not be dated. I like the ability. I've decided that over and over again. I think I could maybe do 1 page a day dated if I moved up to an A5, but I've been in a B6 for a long time, and I have a lot of accessories in B6, and I don't really want to move to A5, I don't think. So, and I think moving down both from like dated, undated to dated, and from B6 to A6 is too small. If I wanted to do any of the painting and stuff that I've been enjoying doing lately, there's not going to be room for that. So I really like the timeline because I do like doing this kind of thing for the timeline. And this feels like a really good place to do it, but there wouldn't be enough room for my actual journal. I can absolutely imagine that there's a season of my life where this will be the right thing. If I decide that this is too much journaling and that I need to scale back, like I'm scaling back to this size and this format like in a heartbeat, and I'll just do the timeline and just like the barest little journaling. Like, I love that for a future me where that is the right thing. I don't think it's the right thing for me right now. So I don't know where this leaves this. There's a part of me that's like, well, I don't have to use it for something dated, which is true. I could just use it as paper. I don't know to what end, though. I don't have anything in mind. I could use it in a future year. You know, the thing about dailies like this is like the day of the week would be wrong, but everything else would be pretty close to right. I guess the little calendar would be wrong, but because it's not really a weekly view, it doesn't really change that much. The day of the week would be wrong, and the color coding that goes with the day of the week would be wrong. So I could just use it in a future year, but I think I'd be avoiding some of the things that I like best. And then I was like, well, do I want this to be my everyday carry instead of this one, even though I spent so much time and energy picking what I thought was the right thing for my everyday carry, and this is none of those things? Am I throwing out all my careful thought process? And like a $35 planner for a $1 planner? I mean, I could sell this one, like, but like it feels pretty silly. So here's where we stand. This just came in the mail yesterday, so the feelings about it are very high. It is also worth mentioning that there's a lot going on at work. There's a lot going on in the world, and that I am having some emotional reactions that are not always proportional to the event, right? Like that other things are making me react bigger than I need to. So while I do like this planner, it's possible that my reaction to it is somewhat outsized because of, you know, the other things that are happening. So here's my current plan. It's September. I don't need to make any decisions now. None of these planners start for another 3.5 months. So that's how it is, which is fine. So we're gonna let things simmer for a bit. It is my belief that what will happen is that once the initial glow wears off, because there was initial glow for this one, after I unboxed this, it's been like 2 weeks, and I was just like opening it over and like fondling it and like, and I was, you know, touching it. playing with it. So I know that there's like a first blush effect, and that it dissipates. So I suspect that will for this as well. And we'll reevaluate in October, November, December, whatever. But I think the reasons I picked this planner are going to hold. Like, I put a lot of thought in it, and none of the reasons have changed. So I kind of expect that when push comes to shove, I'm going to choose this planner again. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And this should be a lesson well learned to me. Don't buy things that you don't have a use for. It doesn't matter how cute they are or how cheap they are. I don't know that it's worth the angst. It is. I'm so glad to have it. I don't regret buying it, because I know, and I'm going to make decisions in the future with this knowledge of that I like this planner. But mostly I'm kicking myself because exactly what I knew was a bad idea was a bad idea. And that I have no one to blame but my own self. Anyway, I still don't have a daily journal for next year. I have some notebooks in reserve that I could use for that. I'm still holding that loosely. The only thing I've bought this EDC, and I have a work planner coming, which has lost some of its blush, even though I have not even received it yet. I could use this for work. If I got rid of the other thing. I haven't really thought of work as being a 1 page per day, but it's not. All right, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, it could be a good use, but there's still, regardless, there's still one too many planners. I wouldn't have trouble selling the other one though. So that's, but I wanted it, but do I still want it? Anyway, my current takeaway stands. I'm just gonna sit and live with it for a bit. Nothing is urgent. Opinions change. My reasons were sound. They haven't changed. I think part of the reason I am willing to abandon this one potentially so quickly is that I'm tired of the blue. So I have things I can do to change that, but I don't want to do that if I'm going to sell it, which I'm not going to sell it. I don't think I'm going to choose this planner. So maybe I need to prioritize getting this into a state that I am excited for, instead of one that I feel like is already a little been there, done that. I think that might help some of my mental space. I've got the leather. I showed it to you. I've been holding off sewing it into something because I don't exactly know what that setup's going to be like, but I should maybe prioritize doing that sooner rather than later, because I think it will boost excitement over this. I could put a sticker on it. I have some other weird ideas of things I can do to it. Here's a hint. It's my own fault. Here we are. I'll just reiterate, I know that this is incredibly low stakes, that it is silly. Not that planners are silly, but that that the level of reaction I'm having right now is a little silly. But look at the little bread. Look how cute it is. Anyway, stakes are low. The pressure is not imminent. Everything will be okay. But there's still some angst. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope your planner journey is more consistent than mine currently is. I will talk to you again soon. Bye, friends.